All right, now to discuss more on this, we're being joined by Dr. Gilbert Doktorov, who's an international affairs analyst, author and historian. He's, of course, joining us live from Brussels. Now, Dr. Doktorov, thank you very much indeed, sir, for joining us here on WION. And let me, in fact, start off by asking you this. The fact that an F-16 fighter jet, about which there had been a huge amount of debate, where Ukraine had been asking for it, the Western allies had been delaying it. Eventually, the Ukrainian pilots were trained. But now Ukraine has ended up losing one of these planes in some pretty controversial circumstances. It's being said that it crashed on its own, but there are reports which also say that perhaps it could have been shot down as well. What's your take on this?
Well, the discussion, as I've seen, is at the present state that a member of the Rada, the Parliament of Ukraine, Madam Biazugla, has made claims that the F-16 was shot down by a U.S. Patriot anti-aircraft missile. And that was denounced by the head of the Ukrainian Air Force, Mr. Aleshuk, who said that she might be brought to justice for making these claims that besmirch the honor of the Ukrainian Air Force. That is, to my knowledge, the latest state of play. Of course, the interesting thing here is that if indeed it was friendly fire, and I can say that the Ukrainians unanimously are denying that it was hostile fire that brought down the plane, if it was friendly fire, that is very perplexing, because to the information I've received, so much of the battlefield activity, operations, is being directed by the United States remotely and partly in place, and that the United States has its superior command and control infrastructure operating what is going on in Ukraine. Therefore, that a Patriot missile would intercept a Ukrainian F-16 shows, if it happens, a real breakdown in that system.
You know, I think that's an important point that you brought up. And also the fact that the Russians have been very quiet about this. The fact that F-16 fighter jet, the news of this came much later, almost 3 days since the incident happened, and it came via a report in the Wall Street Journal. Why do you think the Russians have been silent about an F-16 fighter jet going down?
Well, by their silence, they allow one to suppose that they were responsible for bringing it down, which is very much in their interests, since Mr. Galosov, the Minister of Defense, and others in the Russian government have said that they would liquidate the F-16s within a few weeks. So if one went down within the first week of its operation, that's already 17% of the Ukrainian F-16 Air Force that's just been knocked out. And so the Russians can be coy. They can just sit back and let the Ukrainians bicker among themselves.
All right, and my final quick question to you is this. What do you think will happen to this strategy where Ukraine had been asking for F-16 fighter jets? Will the Western nations now be willing to send more F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine?
Well, they probably will. The issue is not the F-16s as such. They're very nice flying machines. The question is, what are they equipped with? This plane, if it went down as described, was equipped in a way that the Russians could not take exception to. It was being used to bring down cruise missiles, and the Ukrainians said that it shot down, in fact, three Russian cruise missiles on Ukrainian territory, or the missiles approaching Ukrainian territory. The Russians have no objection to that. The problem is how else these F-16s would be used. And the most likely way they'd be used is to equip them with Storm Shadow or the French Scalp medium to long-range missiles, or most objectionable to the Russians, if they are equipped with the American JASSM missiles, which are in the stealth series. That is, they're very difficult to detect, and therefore very difficult to down. All of these missiles have the potential of 500 meters or more, 500 kilometers or more, and could cause great damage to civilian and military infrastructure in Russia, which is a casus belli.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Doktorov, for joining us and getting us all those details there. Thank you very much indeed.
No, thanks for having me.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.